Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music. I'm going to talk about how you can play a song called There She Goes by Sixpence, None the Richer. And we end up cabling this on the 3rd fret to kind of match the recording board and start on a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, and 3rd finger on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, it sounds a G major chord. And now another way you may want to play your G major though is to kind of take the 3rd finger and go to the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. If you strum all those together, it's another way you may want to play your G major. And then from the G major, we're going to be going to a D major chord. The D major. First finger goes to the G on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really happy. And then from the D, we're going to be going to a C major chord. When we play C major, first finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on our D string on the 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E string, that sounds a C major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about using something called C major 9, where you do your first finger on the D string 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the A string 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the 3rd fret. And if you strum the A string to the high E, that sounds a C major 9, so you want to kind of think about that too. And our intro kind of starts off with a little piece of our verse. Actually, it's just kind of G, D, C, G, D, C. And through our main verse chorus, actually, we end up repeating that 3 times, and then we go to an A minor chord. When we play A minor, our first finger goes to the B string on the 1st fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret, and 3rd finger on the G string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. Now you may also want to think about using something called A7 sus, where you do the first finger on the D 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, and the pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum the A to the high E string, then that sounds an A7 sus. And I could make that change from the A minor to the G to the C a little bit easier. And then we kind of repeat that A minor, G, C, and at the very end we kind of go to D with kind of this big build-up with kind of down, 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 kind of at the end of our verse chorus. Now a lot of times with a song like this though, to make it more interesting, I like using something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the G and just tried that a lot, you'd have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now the weird part about applying that to our verse chorus is some of our chords kind of half. So you may want to do kind of a down, down, up on the G and the D, and then do your whole strum pattern on the C major. So you have G, down, up, D, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, D, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, A minor, down, up, G, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, A minor, down, up, G, down, up, C, down, up, down, up, D, 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 D. And then we'll basically be repeating that verse chorus until we get to our bridge part. And on our bridge part, we go to an E minor chord, and we play E minor. First finger goes to A on the 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the D string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about adding in the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret, pinky on the high E string 3rd fret. That sounds an E minor 7. It sounds really groovy happy, or sad. Now through the bridge part, it's almost like a stop time. You have kind of an E minor, and then a big C, and then E minor, and then we do kind of a C major, D major push to go into kind of a halving thing with G, D, C, D. So we've got G, down, up, C, down, up, D, down, up, G, down, up, D, down, then we've got a C, A minor, E minor, and then a C, and then kind of our D with our push again. Kind of go back into our verse chorus. Now the weird part is to play along with Sixpence, None the Richer, instead of starting on a G chord, we're starting on a B flat major chord. So to play along with the recording, what you want to do is take a capo, and if you put the capo on 3rd fret, then now your G is really a B flat major, your D is really an F major, your C is really an E flat major, your E minor is really a G minor, and your A minor is really a C minor chord. But to take it from the very, very beginning, we'd have kind of that intro that's just kind of a little piece of our intro. G, D, C, a little piece of our first chorus. G, down, down, up, D, down, up, C. And then from there, then we go into our main verse chorus. So we have G, D, C, G, D, C, G, D, C. We got our A minor, G, C, A minor, G, C, and then our D push. Now, another thing that I would think about adding, though, kind of going into that next verse chorus, is bass notes. And a lot of times on the first bass, the first down of the down, down, up, you're throwing a bass for the chord. So on the G, you'd have the low E for the bass. On the D, you'd have the D for the bass. On the C, you'd have the A for the bass. On the A minor, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the E minor, you'd have low E for the bass. So we tried our verse chorus with kind of a bass, or adding basses. We'd have G with the bass, down, D with the D bass, down, C with the A bass, down, up, down, G with the low E bass, D with the D bass, C with the A bass, G with the low E bass, D with the D bass, C with the A bass, A minor with an A bass, G with the low E bass, C with an A bass, A minor with an A bass, G with the low E bass, C with an A bass, and then D. And then from there, then we go into kind of a cool little solo part. And if you wanted to kind of follow those licks, it kind of follows the verse chorus form. Otherwise, you kind of start on the 3rd fret on the high E, 5th fret on the high E, 2nd on the high E, 3rd fret on the high E, and then open E, and then 3rd fret on the B string, and then open E, 3rd on the B, open E, 3rd fret on the B, open E, and then back to 3rd fret on the E. So that kind of works for the GDC part. It's kind of that 3, 5, 2, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3, 0, 3. So you may want to kind of try and follow that lick. Or if you're a little bit more adventurous, you can kind of throw in some bass notes for that. So you can play the open G with the 3rd fret on the high E, and then open D for the 2nd fret on the high E, and then 3rd fret on the A string for that open and 3. And I'm kind of doing that hybrid picking, so I'm kind of using my pick for my basses, and then my fingers for the other notes of the licks. 0 and 3, 5, 2 and 3, 3, 0. And then at the end, when we kind of got that A minor chord, we go open E, 3rd fret on the high E, and then 5th fret on the high E, 3rd fret on the high E, open E, 3rd fret on the high E, open E, and then we take 3rd fret on the high E and kind of slide it to what would have been 5th fret and kind of play a bunch of that. So we got 0, 3, 5, 3, 0, 0, 3, 0, 3, 5, kind of through that part. And then from there, then we'll be going into our next verse chorus. Now, there are lots of other ways that you could kind of work this strum pattern-wise. So if you can kind of think of some other ways to kind of do it, you might want to kind of play around with it a little bit too. And something else that can be very cool is a 16th note strum pattern actually through the tune. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot at the beat, right now we're kind of dividing that beat into 2 parts with our down, down, up, down, up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns to work with is a long down, 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 up, down, down, down. And what I mean by that is if you take the G and do a down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you're doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you're doing an up on 2, down on 3. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you're going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. Which you could kind of add basses to that too. And what that is kind of a bass pattern. When you're halving the G and D and the A minor, the G, you could kind of do just a down, 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 up, or a bass, down, down, up, bass, down, down, up. So if we tried that way through that next verse chorus, you'd have G with low E bass, D with the D bass, C with an A bass, down, down, up, down, 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 D with low E bass, D with the D bass, C with an A bass, G with low E bass, D with the D bass, C with an A bass, A minor with an A bass, G with low E bass, C with an A bass. minor, C, E minor, and then kind of our C, D push into the G, D, C, D, G, D, C, A minor, E minor, C, D. Or if you're digging on that 16th pattern, you can have the E minor, C, E minor, C, D, G, D, C, D, G, D, C, A minor, C, D, and then from there, we going into our last verse chorus. Now, if you know other licks around these chords or other strum patterns that would work too, feel free to kind of play around with those. And you probably want to kind of find a way that works for you and kind of run with that. G, C, G, C, A minor, G, A minor, G, and then from there, we go into our outro. So we've got the G, D, C, G, D, C, G, D, C, and we got a big G kind of at the very end. But that's the basics of how you can strum along with There She Goes by Sixpence, None the Richer. So good luck!